Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to my little sister Akshita Salangai Pooja. May I please mention a few housekeeping rules before the start of the program? I request you all to please switch off your mobile phones or put them on silent mode. If you have small children, please make sure that they don't come to the front of the stage, which can interfere with the sound system. I would also like to request if you could abstain from photographs and videos, as we have professional photography today. Please refrain from moving about while Akshita is dancing, as this can distract her and interrupt the video. If at all you have to leave during the performance, please wait till the end of each dance. And also, while re-entering the hall, please make sure that you don't do it in the middle of a dance performance. In case of an emergency, please leave via the fire exit marked on the right-hand side and the left-hand side of the stage. If there is a fire, the meet point is in the car park just on that side. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. We welcome you all to the momentous day of Akshita's dancing career. It's so nice to see so many familiar faces around. Thank you for coming today, leaving all other commitments. And we know some of you have come from far and wide, and I have my mother here who has come all the way from India to bless Akshita. I am pleased to see that many grandparents are here to bless Akshita. First of all, let me explain to you what is Salangai Pooja. The literal translation is Ode to the Ankle Bells. It's usually done when someone has learned Bharatanatyam for some years and attained a good handle on talam. It's only after this ceremony that a student is allowed to perform with the ankle bells on. Today, you will see Guru Pani offering prayers and tying the anklets and blessing Akshita. Akshita then takes the blessings from the Guru and the elders before performing. This will then be the first time Akshita performs with the ankle bells, and I'm sure this will motivate Akshita to intensify her commitment to this art form and exhibit a brilliant performance today. Thank you.
Akshita has now taken the blessings of the Guru, parents, my grandmother and me, and the bells have been given, and now we shall be carrying on with the performance. So, before every song, I shall be giving you a brief introduction to each dance. The first one is named Pushpanjali. This stands for the salutation to the Lord of Dance, Nataraja, the Guru, and the audience. It literally means folded hands full of flowers. It is an offering of flowers to the Indian gods. Pushpanjali is the first dance in a Bharatanatyam performance. This is in the Gambhira Natya Ragam Adi Talam. Pushpanjali will then be followed by Karpaga Vinayaka in praise of Lord Ganesha, the remover of obstacles. The lyrics are by Madurai A. Muralidharan, and it is in Hamsadvani Ragam and Adi Talam.
தன் மகள் மகனே வித்தக விநாயக நித்தம் உனை நினைந்துருகி பணிந்திடுவே வரதா என் சித்தமெல்லாம் உனது திருவுருவம் நிறைந்து வித்தையெல்லாம் மலர விரைந்து நீ அருள்வாய் விரைந்து நீ அருள்வாய் விரைந்து நீ கற்பக விநாயகனே கற்பக விநாயகனே கருணை கடலே கற்பக விநாயகனே கருணை கடலே அற்புதமாய் நத்தரும் அழகுடனானந்தமாகவே ஆடிடும் கற்பக விநாயகனே கருணை கடலே அற்புதமாய் நத்தரும் அழகுடனானந்தமாகவே ஆடிடும் கற்பக விநாயகனே கருணை கடலே நினைத்துனது பதம் குவித்தெனது தரமுனை தொழுதிடம் வருவாயே தொடுத்த மலதரம் எடுத்து அறிவினை கொடுத்த உனதடி பணிவேனே கழிக்கும் கழிவுரை இறைக்கும் தமிழில் இசைக்கும் அடியனு கருவாயே துதிக்கையுடன் முகம் பகுத்த உடலை கருத்துடன் அருளும் உடலோனே நினைத்துனது மதம் குவித்தெனது தரமுனை தொழதினமும் வருவாயே தொடுத்த மலதரம் எடுத்து அறிவினை கொடுத்த உனதடி பணிவேனே கழிக்கும் கழிவுரை இறைக்கும் தமிழில் இசைக்கும் அடியனு கருவாயே கற்பக விநாயகனே கருணை கடலே அற்புதமாய் நசனம் அழகுடனாகவே ஆடி கற்பக விநாயகனே கற்பக விநாயகனே கற்பக
Hi everybody. Now that you have seen few dance performance, let me just give a brief introduction about Bharatanatyam. Bharatanatyam is one of the most popular and widely performed dance style with roots from South India. Bharatanatyam is a combination of Bharata and Natya. Bharata refers to an Indian saint, Bharata Muni, the author of Natya Shastra. Natya refers to the dance, drama and music. It has three main aspects, Nritta or purely rhythmic. This is confined to the footwork and movements of the body and hand, with no symbolic meaning. Natya or mime. It conveys through gestures and facial expression. We can call it the suggestive language of imagination. Nritya. This employs both dance and drama to emphasize the meaning of lyrics and mood in the music. Atul will now talk to you about the next dance.
The next song is Andal Gautavam. The composer says, "Listen as I sing the Gautavam of the maiden who became the bride of Sri Ranganatha. She came to this earth as a daughter of Sri Vishuchitar. She was incarnated in a grove of tulsi shrubs on an auspicious Friday in the 4th month of Adi, on the day when the star was Purva Falguni. Her father, a very pious man, used to collect fresh flowers every day to make the huge garlands that adorned the Lord. She grew up into a lovely, graceful young girl and fell in love with the Lord Ranganatha and began to first wear the garland herself before handing it to her dad to take to the temple. The poet continues, she ultimately became the bride of that Lord of 1,000 names who carries a conch and wields a discus and reposes on the leaf of the banyan tree. The legend is that Andal was discovered wearing the garland meant for the Lord one day by a father who was very upset because tradition demands that only fresh flowers be offered to the Lord. So he hastily put together another garland of fresh flowers and took them to the temple. However, that night, Lord Ranganatha appeared in his dream and told him that he preferred the garlands that his daughter wears to the fresh ones. This is in Kiravani Ragam and Adi Talam. next song Akshita shall be performing is Ilaripu. This is a Tamil word meaning to bloom. Ilaripu consists of a set of movements without any meaning. The movements are performed for syllables set for a beat, known as thala. The steps are so performed that it looks like a bud blooming into a flower. This is in Natai Ragam and Rubika Thala.
Thank you.
enjoyed the performance so far. While Akshita is taking a break, I would like to take this opportunity to invite a few people on stage who have played a significant role in Akshita's development. Most of us, when we think about our role models, we have a teacher in that list. Akshita also has a teacher who she adores, Miss Gardner. When we mention Miss Gardner, the truth is, there isn't just one word that describes her, but if we were to choose just one, it would be caring. We initially met Miss Gardner as Akshita's Year 4 class teacher, but since then she's become a lot more to Akshita and us as a family. While we as a family owe her a great deal of gratitude for Akshita's progress academically, we feel that Miss Gardner's caring and bubbly attitude has rubbed off on Akshita, which has made her the girl she is today. We can't stress how thankful we are for that. Miss Gardner, even after leaving RGS, has kept contact with Akshita, ensuring she's on the right path, offering advice where possible. Akshita used to be addressed by Miss Gardner as Miss Pink Sparkle Fairy, a nickname we will never forget. I shall now give you all a brief summary about Miss Gardner before I invite her onto the stage. Miss Gardner was not only a class teacher, but also the head of dance and drama in the RGS Junior School. Previously, she has performed in theatres all over the country, while also being one of the UK's top 200 dancers to receive a scholarship to stage school, where she trained for 3 years. Miss Gardner has also worked with a range of companies teaching and offering advice on the performing arts, including P&O Cruises, the King's Foundation, and Teachers TV. Currently, she owns her own performing arts school in Jesmond, which is called Charlotte Gardner's Performing School for Art and Drama. While also being a musical theatre specialist at Queen Ethelberga's, a boarding school in York, she is also a private tutor. I would now like to call Miss Gardner onto the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a privilege it is to be here today in celebration of the presentation of Ankle Bells to Akshita. I used to be Akshita's class teacher when she was a little girl, but it is clear to see today that she is developing into a beautiful young lady, inside and out. I also had the honour of watching her dance at school events, and it always struck me how her expression and emotion when performing and love of dance was beyond her years. She comes to life when on stage. As already said, I always had a nickname for Akshita, Sparkle, and I'm sure you will see how I came up with the nickname as you've seen her perform. Akshita is such a kind, extremely thoughtful, polite, and hard-working student, and I have no doubt that these attributes will have contributed to her achievements in dance and why we are all here today. Someone can execute steps perfectly, but they will not mean anything unless there is meaning and emotion behind them. To be a real dancer, you have to feel it. You have to tell a story. Albert Einstein was a very wise man. I wouldn't have put him in the category of being a dancer, but he is known for saying, "We dance for laughter, we dance for tears, we dance for madness, we dance for fears. We dance for hopes, we dance for screams. We are the dancers, we create the dreams." And here today, I know this Salangai Pooja will be a dream for Akshita, for her dance teacher, and for her family. What an achievement. A big well done to Akshita.
The next person I'd like to invite onto the stage is Anita Auntie. Dr. Anita is another person who has inspired Akshita, but in a unique way. From the moment Akshita met Anita Auntie, there was an immediate connection between them. Akshita has grown up watching Anita Auntie dance and has been motivated by her to pursue dance aspirations. She was always fascinated to see how Anita Auntie managed her career alongside her dancing. These admirations continued to grow even after Anita Auntie left Newcastle, and I could see a spark in her eyes whenever we told her that we would be meeting Anita Auntie. Before I call her onto the stage, I want to let you know a little bit more about her. Anita Auntie is an ophthalmologist working at Ashford and St. Peter's Hospital. As many will know, Anita Auntie is a truly gifted dancer and she has learnt classical dances from the age of 9. She choreographs and performs with the groups for Colour and Triddy, as well as medical alumni meetings. Anita Auntie is married to Sethu Warrior, a doctor who is blessed with a beautiful voice, and they have 2 talented daughters. And I would now like to invite Anita Auntie onto the stage.
Hi everyone, good evening. It feels nice to be back in Newcastle, and I would like to thank Akshita and her family for inviting us to join the Salangai Pooja, and also to speak a few words about the event and bless her as well. I have known Akshita and her family for quite a while now. She was little when we first met. We met through family friends, and we got together every year for the Shruti annual. A few years ago, Akshita's guru, Mrs. Pani, had gone on a trip to Australia for two months, and I stepped in to give the classes so that the children don't forget, keep them practiced. Akshita is talented, as you can see, but what came as a pleasant surprise to me was her passion to the art, her commitment. She is such a wonderful student that it makes life easy for a teacher. And that was such a pleasant surprise for me to see such a little girl with so much of passion to learn the art. I think I used to tell them stories from Mahabharatam and Dashavataram and taught them poses from that. And she would always come back, practice, ask clear doubts and do more practice. And she wanted to learn more about the stories and more about the characters. Her passion is really, she comes to life when you teach new things. And as you can see, she's a wonderful dancer. We used to perform for the Northeast Hindu Cultural Trust. We used to do a drama called History of India. And when she was little, she could only do little roles like a tree, a plant, a little animal, or a little child. But later on, when we did it again, she had grown up, and she would put her hand up when we ask, who would like to do this role? Her hand goes up. She's such a committed, passionate child. All for the dance, that's a wonderful thing. But I would like to say a few things about her her character. She's such a loving, affectionate child. Each time she sees you, she comes running, hugging, and taking blessings, and asking how we were and how we're doing, and how Vardha and Abhi are doing as well. When we moved away from Newcastle, she made a little card for me, and I still have it. Such a sweet girl she is. I wish her all the best. I would like to add one more thing to it. I recently had the privilege to dance with her. So from a teacher-student, we've moved on to co-dancers. For this year's Shruti event, we danced on the stage together, and I see it as a big privilege. I wish Akshita all the best in all her endeavors, and thank her family. Akshita is a blessing. You're lucky to have her. Thank you.
Finally, let me invite a person who has had a great deal of influence on Akshita's progression, not only in dance, but also in personal development, and that is Veena Auntie. Veena Auntie has always been there for Akshita from the moment we came to Newcastle. From the beginning, Veena Auntie began to bring Akshita to performances and built her confidence through making her undertake welcoming speeches and other leadership roles. She always pushed Akshita towards not only becoming a better dancer and speaker, but a better person. We joke about it, but in all seriousness, Veena Auntie most certainly is Akshita's UK grandmother. Before I give Veena Auntie the mic, I will just give you a brief background about Veena Auntie. After graduating as a teacher from Newcastle University, she worked in education for over 20 years, teaching in primary, secondary schools, colleges and universities, as well as supporting and training those around her to become teachers. Following this, Veena Auntie went on to work for the Home Office, leading a department whose objective was to raise awareness of equality, diversity, and the needs of ethnic minority communities within the UK. Her passion has always been to support young people and help them to remember and celebrate their home culture while becoming part of the British society. This role allowed her to influence and support society nationally. Over the last 18 years, alongside her career, she has set up and run the Hindu Cultural Trust in order to bring together young people and celebrate the culture of India. During this time, hundreds of children have attended her classes and have gone on to become strong, confident young adults. Veena was honoured for her services by being made Deputy Lieutenant of Tyne and Wear by the Queen and has been awarded the British Empire Medal. I would now like to invite Veena onto the stage.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and can I just start by saying thank you to the family for inviting me here today to say a few words. This is an absolute privilege for me, and they're absolutely right that Akshita is my granddaughter, and I see all the children that we have who come to our trust as my own children, and I feel as I'm getting older that they're like grandchildren to me. I remember when Akshita joined the Hindu Cultural Trust, and you know, the first thing that struck me was when she came in, it was that lovely wide smile. And I bet every one of you sitting here can think of a time when you've seen her and she's just beaming all the time. She smiles so beautifully, and straight away your heart goes to her. And the second thing I sort of remember so much about her is the hug. The lovely way she looks at you and she says, "Hello, Auntie," and then comes and gives you this wonderful hug. And over the years, she's grown up to become very, very special to me, and I do see her as my granddaughter. Over the years, I've seen Akshita, as her teacher has said, and others, from becoming from a young child who sort of was thinking, okay, I'd like to do this, I want to dance, to becoming this confident young woman who can tackle anything and be able to dance and try new things. She has a passion which you very rarely see in all children, and that passion has grown into confidence now. Now she looks at things and she thinks, I can do this, and she puts the effort and she spends her time. The one thing I do remember about her dancing was whenever we taught her, it was that concentration. She needed to get it exactly right. And when she was concentrating, every single thing, she would sit there watching the teacher and wanting to do every single movement exactly the way as that person was doing. From Bollywood, she went on to move on to Bharatanatyam. But in each of these dances, she has performed in front of Lord Mayors, she's performed in front of Lord Lieutenants, she's performed in front of very senior people in the armed forces, and I could go on and on and on and say how much I feel. And in each one, the passion and that she's put into her dancing has always been recognized. And people have said to me, you know, who's that girl over there who's dancing? She's done really well and she's dancing really well. So over the years she has blossomed and she's grown, and it's been a privilege having her in our classes. In Bharatanatyam, I'm absolutely amazed in 2-3 years she has gone from a starter, and look at her today. That performance is just out of this world. She is absolutely fantastic. And how confident she is. I think more than anything we need to recognize that our children, the confidence that's growing within them, and I can see our young children growing up, and I can see Akshita going on to do some wonderful things in the UK. And I look forward to seeing her name in the papers, and I look forward to seeing her on the television, and I look forward to hearing about all the wonderful things she's going to be doing over the years. She's danced wonderful so far. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the dancing, and I wish her well, and thank you very much. Before I end, I want to say one thing. Do you know, we talk about personalities, we talk about children, and people have said how kind she is, they've said how wonderful she is, how loving she is, how gentle she is. That all comes from the family. And I think it's what's behind what the family teaches and what she's learning from her brother, from her mum and dad and others around her. is making her what she is. So I want to thank not only Akshita, but also her family, and I think that she's very lucky to have some wonderful people around her who teach her so many wonderful things. Thank you very much, everyone.
Namaste. Guru Pani is just taking Akshita down to take the blessings of elders that are gathered here today. So first, Akshita will take the blessings of Colonel Pani, Guru Pani's husband. Then she'll take the blessings of Dr. Nath, Dr. Shambhu Nath, and Dr. Satya Nath, who have been one of the leading promoters of Indian culture and arts in the Northeast and in the country. And of Dr. Shobha Srivastava, who again has been a promoter of Indian art, Bharatanatyam in the Northeast, and leader of Hindu Nari Sangh for so many years. And now she's taking the blessings of Dr. Veena Soni, who has been helper and promoter of Indian art in Newcastle and in the temple, and Dr. Anita Sethu, who is a leading dancer as well.
The next song is Jati Swaram. Jati Swaram is a pure nirta item in Bharatanatyam. A Jati Swaram, as the term suggests, is a combination of Jati and Swara patterns. Jati Swaram is a convergence of the charm of melody, the excitement of meter, and the beauty of abstract dance movement. The technical dance sentences, or Jatis, are choreographed to perfectly interweave with the Swaram or the melodic passages. The music does not convey any specific meaning. As a result, the dancer and the audience are simply left with the pure joy of rhythm, melody, and movement. The ragam is Hamza Nandi and set to Rubika Talam. This is a composition by Padma Shri K.N. Danda Yuddhapani Pillai.
Sa ni da ma
Hi everyone, as most of you know, I'm Akshita's older brother, Ato, as already mentioned. When I first got the task of talking about my sister, I was pleased, although I was expecting it being her brother. Something that I realized very quickly was that I would not get a better opportunity to talk about any of the annoying habits my sister possesses. So I have a few pages for this, bear with me. But in all seriousness, I couldn't wish for a better sister. From a young age, my parents and I have seen her caring nature from small things like making a card for our birthdays, to winning me a chance to play at St James's Park's pitch, which remains my favourite birthday present to this day. To add to this character of hers, she also has a great drive to succeed. A prime example of this is recovering from a broken foot in time for this performance with considerably reduced time for practice. I know she won't like this, but I must say that Akshita is a quite clumsy person, and I take great pride being the less clumsy child. But if you were to think this would hold her back, quite on the contrary, Akshita has always had a natural talent for dance. I will always fondly remember the times when we were younger, dancing in the rain in India, oblivious to all responsibilities, or the times watching Akshita carry out her own little plays, my parents and I creating a little TV from a cardboard box. While all small and seemingly insignificant, these little acts have made her what she is today, the darling of the family. People who know me will be aware of the fact that football is my passion. In Akshita, I see a very similar attitude towards dance. My parents always used to joke about the fact that I would wake up at, or they could wake me up at any time to play football, but according to them, not for studying. Like my parents say about me, I can say that Akshita can be woken up to dance at any time. Akshita has been dancing and practicing Bharatanatyam for the last 4 years. We knew that Akshita had a passion for dance from a young age. She excelled as a ballet dancer during her early school years before we moved to Newcastle. We had no doubt that she would enjoy Indian classical dance, but we did not have any resources at that time. And my mum, having learned Bharatanatyam herself, felt this as an unfulfilled desire. Then things changed. As part of my dad's career progression, we moved to Newcastle, and then we heard about Guru Pani. That was the beginning of a journey. The journey of a young girl with a passion for dance under the guidance of a dedicated guru. She started always attending lessons regularly on Fridays and Saturdays. She has always tried her best to not miss any lessons and has a gift of learning from her mistakes. However, I have suffered from Akshita's eagerness to impress Guru Pani, as she ends up practicing for hours upon hours rather than spending more time with me. One thing I've noticed is that Akshita has never had stage fear, and always excelled in front of large audiences. With all of Akshita's qualities I have mentioned, and the careful guidance of one of the most prominent gurus of this dance form, Akshita has reached a level where she can now perform with the ankle bells on. Before I finish, I would just like to mention how grateful I am to God for gifting me such a wonderful sister. We have had great memories of growing up together, which I'll cherish forever, and I wish Akshita all the best with the rest of the performance. Akshita will now perform Idatupadam. Stuart. Akshita will now perform Idatupadam, a dance dedicated to Lord Nataraja, the cosmic dancer. Here the dancer explains, O mind, bow before Lord Nataraja, who dances, lifting his left foot, with the hooded snake dancing, and his tiger cloth dress dancing, while devotees shout, victory, victory. Sages have this beautiful darshan of his dance in Chidambaram. The anklets on his holy feet jingling, Galia Galia. The crescent moon on his head shining brightly, Lord Vishnu playing Dimikata Tarikatatom on the drums. And while he, the consort of Shivakami, dances in Chidambaram with a smile, a beautiful composition by Papanasam Shivan is set to Rag Kamas and Aditala.
இடது பதம் தூக்கி ஆடும் இடது பதம் தூக்கி ஆடும் இடது பதம் தூக்கி ஆடும் இடது பதம் தூக்கி ஆடும்
going to talk about the most important person here today, under whose guidance Akshita has flourished and is performing in front of you. Our beloved Guru, Pani. I'm sure most of you will know about Guru Pani, but for those who don't know, let me give a brief introduction. And I must say, I'm privileged to stand here and talk about her. Kalaimamani Srimati Chamundeshwari Pani is one of the leading exponents and dedicated artists of Bharatanatyam today. Born into the family of distinguished rich cultural background, the seeds of dance were strongly sown in her at the early age of 4. She was the first student of Natyalaya, a dance school run by J.C. Mala Bali, with whom she has given a number of performances around India. She was initially coached by late Padma Shri K. Danayanda Pani Pillai and late Srimati Mailapur Gauri Amman, who taught her the intricacies of Abhinaya. She then perfected the art of Bharatanatyam under the guidance of her mother, Srimati Samantaka Mani Palani Aunty, who herself was a proficient dancer, singer and composer. For a short duration, Srimati Pani underwent training in Kathak as well from a late Sri B. Hira Lal. With years of disciplined training under her distinguished teachers, Srimati Pani has perfected the pure Tanjavur style of Bharatanatyam. Despite intense pressure imposed by the training, Srimati Pani graduated in economics from the University of Madras. The encouragement from her father, the late Sri Raja Palani Adi Mudaliyar, helped Srimati Pani to start her own dance school, Nritya Kshetra in Chennai, at the age of 19. Soon it became a haven for learning and at one time had a strength of 200 students. Amongst them were the residents and disciples from USA, Singapore and Malaysia. The institution is run by her senior student, Madurai Muralidharan. She is the recipient of numerous prestigious awards for her contribution to dance. Mrs. Pani has been conferred the title Natya Kalamani, the prestigious title of Kalaimamani in 1982 by the Tamil Nadu government, and Natya Kalasre in 1985 for her contribution to this art. Kala Premi UK has bestowed upon her the title Kalai Jyoti for her ceaseless dedication to the art Bharatanatyam in the Northeast. In February 2018, she was invited to meet our Queen due to her contribution to the art in the Northeast. In 1987, Srimati Pani left the shores of India following her marriage to Colonel C.K. Pani, a doctor in the British Army. Guru Pani would not be able to be teaching all her disciples if it were not for her understanding and supportive husband. Colonel, so I would like to thank you for managing your weekends by yourself and giving Akshita the privilege to be taught by Guru Pani. She has carried the richness of Bharatanatyam tradition to the UK and been imparting dance lessons with tireless enthusiasm. Srimati Chamundeshwari Pani acts as a cultural link between the traditional consciousness of Bharatanatyam and Indian culture in the young minds of today. Srimati Pani lives in Ingleby, Barwick and conducts classes in Newcastle, South Shields, Middlesbrough and in Darlington. You would be surprised to know the distance she covers in a day to reach various dance classes. Her unique style of teaching, with the patience and love for her students, is such that to them she is first an affectionate auntie and then a guru. And I must say Guru Pani has a brilliant sense of humor and I feel her wholehearted smile, laughter, that is the secret of her health. Having imparted this art for over 40 years, she continues to keep the young children interested in their heritage. We are indeed very fortunate to have such an accomplished person in the Northeast. Ladies and gentlemen, our Guru Srimati Kalaimamani Chamundeshwari Pani.
Gurubhyo Namaha. Thank you, Mridula, for such a lovely introduction. It's not 40, but 50 years. Today you have seen the display of my talented student, Akshita, on her Salangai Pooja day. This is a very auspicious day for the parents and the child, the whole family. Her grandmother also has come from India, and it is a very auspicious day for them. I have to say a few words about Akshita here. Akshita came under my tutelage at 4 years ago, and I then spotted that she has a keen interest not only in dance, rhythm and music. She is able to understand the dance and grasp the movements, the abhinaya, and is able to display them as you have seen today on the stage. As a brother said, she has got no stage fear. And the best thing about her is when I say, Akshita, this has to be corrected, and the next time when I see the same dance, the correction has been done. So usually gurus say, this should be done, that should be done. But with her, I've always noticed that the correction is done immediately. And we were not even sure whether this function is going to take place, as in May she had a small accident with her. She fell down and she hurt her ankle. So the June 3rd, which this function was supposed to take place, we had to postpone it. And when they told me, Rubula rang up and said, "Oh, Mrs. Pani, we have some bad news." I got shocked. I said, "What is it?" And then she said, "Akshita has hurt her leg and she can't dance for 6 weeks." And then I said, "What are we to do with Salangai Pooja?" She said, "We have to postpone it. After 6 weeks, the doctors will tell whether she is ready or not." But then then her grandmother had also come from India. And then we didn't know what to do. But this girl, after 3-4 weeks, she said, "I can dance, I can dance." And I was not sure. I said, "Your doctors have to give the green signal. Until then, we can't go ahead." But I think their doctor came and said she can dance, and that's what today, luckily for her, this date, August 18th, was free. The hall was free. But unfortunately, some of her friends who dance with her in many classes are unable to make it today because they're all stranded in Kerala due to the unfortunate floods. So many of them couldn't make it, but they have given their best wishes. And you have seen her performance. And now the next item she'll be doing is a very special item. It's a Kritiyam Tyagaraja, and she'll do it so beautifully. And I wish Akshita many more years of learning classical dance, and would like to tell her that this is not the end. This is just the beginning, climbing on to the stage. In Arangetram is different, but Salangai Pooja is where she starts progressing. And with these words, I call upon Akshita. She is very, very good in her respect towards Guru, not only to me. I've seen her do it to all of the Gurus, her school Gurus, her other music Gurus and everything. The amount of respect she has for a Guru, you can see in a child like her. And I wish her many more years of learning Bharatanatyam, and may she reach greater heights in this field of art. Thank you.
The next song is Balakanakamaya. This is a composition by Saint Yagaraja, which is a very unique kriti, as it is said, that was composed at the very end of his lifetime when he finally got the darshan of Lord Rama. In this Kirti, he praises Lord Rama as the protector of the virtuous, as the bestower of the auspiciousness, as the Deva among the celestials, one belonging to the solar race, one who is as majestic as the ocean, as the destroyer of Asuras, one as beautiful as Cupid, and pleads Rama to come and give a darshan. He further adds, O Rama, you are the essence of all the Vedas. You are the King of kings. O Lord, why does your grace elude me? You are the protector of yagas, praised by righteous men. You are permanent, without beginning or end, reclining upon Adisesha, bestower of boons to Gajendra, decked with punaga flower, remover of sins forever. Your feet held by Ananjaya, the son of Vayu. You are the subject of scriptures, and you are desireless. O Lord, your grace still eludes me. I dread the prospect of your abandoning me forever. Is not this the right moment to protect me? Do come in all your majesty, adorned by royal ornaments and resplendent weapons, riding on Garuda, surrounded by celestials and sages. Let me submerge in the divine tranquility radiated by your charming countenance. Has not that tranquility been declared by the Vedas and Upanishads as the highest acquisition and as the supreme goal of all human spiritual endeavor? This is in Ragatana set to Adi Dala.
ಬಾಲಕನಕಮಯ ಚೇಲ ಸುಜನ ಬಾಲಕನಕಮಯ ಚೇಲ ಸುಜನ ಪರಿಪಾಲ ಶ್ರೀರಮಾಲೋಲ ವಿಧೃದಗರ ಬಾಲಕನಕಮಯ ಪರಿಪಾಲ ಶ್ರೀಧರ ಜಾಲ ಶುಭದ ಕರುಣಾಲ ಬಾಲ ಘನನೀಲ ನವ್ಯವನ ಮಾಲಿಕಾಭರಣ ಹೇರನಿ ದಯರಾಗಾದು ಪರಾಕು ವೇದ ಸಮಯ ಮೋಗಾದು ಪರಾಕು सकल श्रुति सार సమయము కాదు రాజాధిరాజ ముని పూజితమా రాజాధిరాజ ముని పూజితమా శరణ్య అఖిలావణ్య రాజధరనుత విరాజ తురగ సురరాజ వందిత పదాజనక రాజధరనుత విరాజ తురగ సురరాజ వందిత పదాజనక దినరాజ కోటి సమతేజ ధనుజ గజరాజ నిజయ మృగరాజ జలముఖయే దయరాజు పరాగు చేసెదయ సమయము కాదు యాగ రక్షణ పరమ యాగ రక్షణ పరమ యాగ రక్షణ పరమ ఆగవరాచిత యాగ రక్షణ పరమ భాగవరాచిత योगीन्द्र सुहृद्भारावित आद्यन्तरहित नागशयन वरनागवरद पुन्नाग सुमधर सदाग मोचन नाग वरद पुन्नाग सुमधर सदाग मोचन सदाग जित जित पराग मात चलराग रहित श्री त्यागराज हृदये दयरागालु पताकु చేసే దయవేల సమయము కాదు పరాకు చేసే దయవేల సమయము కాదు
The next song Akshita shall be performing is Tilana, a nirta item comprising of beautiful and graceful pure dance steps, along with several alluring sculpture-esque poses and varied patterns of movements. Each adava is executed in slow, medium, and fast speed, with a meticulous combination of adavas resulting in scintillating tirmanams. Tilana ends in a fast speed, thus impressing and spellbinding the audience. Sung in the Ragadesh and set to Adi Talam, this is a composition of K.N. Bakarisamy Pillai. A recital that is the last one of the day may end with a mangalam, a short benediction during which the dancer performs the namaskaram, giving thanks and invoking blessings for everyone present. A mangalam usually is no more than a minute or two in duration. The music used in one of these auspicious ragas, typically Madhya Mavati Raga and Adi Talam. I must mention that all of these dances are choreographed by Guru Srimati Chamdeshwari Pani.
मङ्गलं कोसलेन्द्राय महनीय गुणात्मने चक्रवर्तितनुजाय सार्वभौमाय मङ्गलम् मङ्गलं कोसलेन्द्राय महनीय गुणात्मने चक्रवर्तितनुजाय सार्वभौमाय मङ्गलम् मङ्गलं कोसलेन्द्राय महनीय गुणात्मने चक्रवर्तितनुजाय सार्वभौमाय मङ्गलम् मङ्गलं कोसलेन्द्राय महनीय गुणात्मने चक्रवर्तितनुजाय सार्वभौमाय मङ्गलम्
I hope you all have enjoyed the performance. Thank you, Guru Pani and Akshita, and thank you, Atul, for comparing the whole event. Thank you all for coming today. Since the time we mentioned about Salangai Pooja, we were overwhelmed by the offer of help we received from the family and friends. Without your support and well wishes, this would not have been possible. I'm thankful to my wife, Mridula, for taking Akshita for all her lessons in between her busy work. I'm playing it safe. For taking Akshita for all her lessons in between her busy work commitments. Even though my in-laws and Akshita's uncle and auntie could not come from India, they have done all the hard work they could do behind the scene, starting from the selection of costumes. We thank Shobha auntie and Nad uncle for being here today, who both continue to help our children learn our cultural values through Kalaprevi and Hindu Nari Sangh. We are grateful to Stuart for the light and sound, who has a wealth of experience in supporting these kind of events over the years. We thank Johnny Sheikh for the videography and our friends for the photos. Another important person to thank is Chef Robin, who has prepared a sumptuous dinner for us today. I thank you all once again.
First of all, thank you to all of you for coming here today, as I wouldn't be performing if you weren't here. I'd like to thank God for my Chaturanga Puja going well today. Two people I can't leave this stage without saying thank you to is my parents, for being my very own personal chauffeurs, cooks, helping me practice, and for enrolling me into this amazing class, which I've learned so much from. To have such amazing parents is a gift from God. But I wouldn't be here without Guru Pani. Thank you for being such an amazing teacher, driving all the way to Newcastle from Middlesbrough, teaching me Bharatanatyam itself, and believing that I was ready for my Chaturanga Puja. I'd like to say thank you to my brother for comparing today, and for just being such a supportive brother and helping me through all of this time, watching me practice so many times. He must have got bored of the dance. And there's a family who requested not to be mentioned, but I can't leave this stage without saying thank you to them. During this whole process, they've had a plethora of roles and made sure everything was perfect for me. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to my grandma, who's come all the way from India to England to watch me dance. I'd also like to thank my other grandparents who are in India, but unfortunately they couldn't make it. However, they did everything they could possibly do to help us. I'd also like to thank my uncle, who must have been to 20, 30 shops looking for the perfect costume for me. I'd also like to thank Maya Samyukta for helping me with my dance. As well as Bree Stacey for helping me get ready and just helping me with the dances as well. And once again, I'd like to thank all of you for coming here today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
I'm now told that the dinner is ready for us, and it's been served on the left, on that side, and we can have 2 queues. And I think, yes, most important, Akshita would like to take some pictures with whoever is interested to come to the stage, please. She'll be delighted.